Again this morning, I want to introduce to you our presenter, who is Mr. Leighton Campbell. Now, Mr. Campbell is one of those entrepreneurs that you meet and you go, wow, because of the fact that he's so dedicated, just so driven, so he just has that desire to succeed, and it's actually it's a very good trait, and I'm certain that a lot of persons have learned from him. Leighton, is your mic unmuted? Okay, yes.
Yes, it is. Hi, Sansa. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and I hope you're keeping well and keeping safe in this time of Corona.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Wonderful. All right, so before Leighton begins this morning, I'm going to introduce him to you, but I also want to highlight a particular part of the JBDC program that Leighton was a part of last year. I'm not certain how many of you are aware of our accelerator program. Our accelerator program is a 6 months intense business training that growth stage entrepreneurs go through. And I am going to just ask Leighton to share with you just a little bit, not a whole lot, about his experience in the JBDC Accelerator program.
All right. So, I mean, for me, the JBD Accelerator program was what I call a very extraordinary experience. I think for us as well, one of the reasons why it was so fulfilling was that, it was the right time for us. We were in the market for a little while trying to figure out the best way to roll out our business. And we had a lot of things that, as entrepreneurs, oftentimes we specialize in the area, our product area, our service area that we're bringing to market. And oftentimes we don't know that much about business and making the business work and so forth. So during the accelerator program, we were exposed to a lot of specific ways how to get certain results. Even for instance, one of the biggest challenges I had with my business being a technology business that did not walk the traditional route or did not even offer traditional services was simply explain to customers what exactly it is that we did and how we could provide value to our customers. And it was really since the JBDC program that we have sharpened up those skill sets and those messages and
Wonderful.
being able to very much clearly communicate those things. Even for instance, understanding the value of marketing and how to market the business. I mean, yes, we specialize in enabling customers to be able to, or our customers or companies to be able to use our tools to market to their business. But how we actually roll out our own marketing programs was very lacking and support. And since then, we've done a lot of groundwork, a lot of process improvement. One of the biggest challenges that we had again before was, we're a technology business that focuses on implementing projects. How do you implement, roll out, track projects? How do you ensure that customers get exactly what you promised them before? JBDC was a challenge. Afterwards, it has been streamlined significantly. So for us, we've seen enormous growth just from the energy that was injected into the business because of the insights and the motivation that I got from the JBDC Accelerator program. We have seen a significant uptake in interest of our business from companies out of Europe, South America. We've been talking to persons who typically you as a small business would have to chase. These persons are finance.
Right.
This is definitely as a result of the work that was put in the accelerator program, and we definitely have to give JBDC a thumbs up for that program. It's a really good initiative, and I definitely encourage any small business owner, any medium-sized business. It doesn't really matter what size you are, you will learn something from that program. So definitely.
Right. Right, fabulous. Thank you so much for that testimonial, Leighton. And it's important to note that Leighton is not just giving lip service to this, because out of his participation in our accelerator program, he was awarded the most improved business and the best team player. And then after that, he just got so exponential that we had to give him the JBDC Bossman of the Year for 2019. So you know that he's coming from a place. This morning when he presents, he's not only presenting as an expert in his area, but he's also presenting as a tested entrepreneur. He's been through the rough and tough of it, and so he understands, you know, what exactly he will be saying to you this morning. So as I said before, we're going to be talking about demystifying e-commerce, and I suspect that a lot of persons want to hear about e-commerce because today we have had the most overwhelming response to our webinar series from it has begun. We actually have over 400 persons registered this morning, and we're really looking forward to welcoming all 400 of you. So if you know anybody that register and you don't see them in the meeting room as yet, or even if you don't see, well, it's kind of too late to register now. But if you know somebody that registered and they're not yet in the meeting room, just give them a call and remind them the meeting is about to start, and as such, you know, they should come on in. So at this time, I'm going to hand over to Leighton and invite him to demystify e-commerce for us. We will take questions at the end of the presentation. I ask that if you don't have a mic, you can go ahead and post your question in the group chat, and we will ensure that the question is asked. And if you have a mic and you wish to speak with us, you can click on the participants button at the middle of the screen at the bottom, raise your hand, and we will acknowledge you. So see you at the end of the session, and it's over to you, Leighton.
All right, thanks, Ansel. So I'm sharing my screen, just waiting it to come up. Just give me a few seconds here, guys. All right, tell me when you guys are able to see my screen.
All right, so we're able to see now, so you can go ahead.
All right, awesome. All right, guys, so we'll be focusing today, I will say, on demystifying e-commerce. I will definitely thank you guys for coming out. So the 10 things you need to know to successfully move your business online. In a time like this, during COVID, e-commerce has become a hot topic. I will tell you flat out that, you know, as a business, seeing what is happening in the market right now, and you know, a lot of persons are being laid off, or a lot of businesses are slowing down. You know, I have to give thanks for the position that I am in, because you know, being that we were already set up to service our businesses online and our customers online, we're seeing that there's actually a significant uptake and interest in our services. And we're actually to the point now where we're overwhelmed by traffic that comes to us, and we're seeing anywhere between 6 persons per day talking about their business. And what I've pretty much done is to put together these 10 points from the questions that we typically get asked about, some of the things that we also find to have to provide as part of the consultative exercise that we have with our customers. You know, I want to use the opportunity to share with you guys, you know, how it is that you can really leverage the e-commerce solutions as it is right now to boost the performance of your business during COVID, after, and even just if it is that you're looking to launch a business. A lot of persons are brainstorming right now during the time that they have to think about businesses that they want to start. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs are looking at the online opportunity as the way to get started. You know, so I'm going to go through a few topics, which includes just defining what e-commerce is, how it works, why businesses need it, and then going into exactly what those 10 things are that you need to know, right? So what is e-commerce? Typically, e-commerce, oftentimes persons think about e-commerce just thinking about collecting payments online, you know. However, e-commerce really is doing business online in terms of, you know, there's a transactional exchange where somebody's providing a good or service for, of course, payment, and any exercise of that in that nature really is e-commerce. So in essence, some persons may think about it as online sign-ups, bookings online. You know, there are different forms of it, and we'll go down into it as we go through the different slides. Now, how exactly does e-commerce work? Typically, if you think about the journey of a customer when they're looking for a particular solution at the moment or a product, they will typically, you know, walk into a store, an office, a branch, and submit an order. The person at the cashier or the person talking to them processes that order and then hands them whatever it is that the person is buying, or if it's a service that you're providing, then you deliver the service to the person. In e-commerce, it is no different. The customer will typically go online and buy a mobile device, whether it be a phone, a tablet, or a desktop computer or laptop, and they will typically log onto our website, log onto the website. So let's say, for instance, you're purchasing a bottle of water to keep it simple. You typically add that to cart, and this is where you make an order, you add that to cart, and of course you check out, and you make whatever payment you need to make to be able to allow the persons behind the desk to fulfill the order. So pretty much the company then receives that order internally, processes it, and then tries to fulfill by whether it is sending out that order physically being shipped, or it's downloaded, or the service is provided in another shape or form, right? So that's pretty much e-commerce. E-commerce works exactly how businesses work offline, and a lot of times when persons think about e-commerce, they don't think about it within the context of the business. It's extremely important to understand the business framework within which you are implementing your e-commerce strategy. And we'll be going down into that a little bit more as we get into the 10 things that you need to know. But when you think about e-commerce, just literally think about doing business online in almost the same way you would do it offline. The method is just different. It's not an in-person interaction, it's a digital one, but the process really remains the same, right? Now, why do businesses need e-commerce? And there are many points that I can make to tell persons why they should tap into the e-commerce opportunity. However, the number one reason why every single business needs e-commerce, whether it is that you're in COVID, before COVID, or even after COVID, it does not matter what state the world is in. E-commerce, as it is right now, is the number one channel that enables a business to go anywhere in the world. So in a sense, my office is based in Kingston. I have customers all over Jamaica. I have customers in the Caribbean, and also have a few customers in North America. And if you think about it, we have not left our office on many of those occasions to do business with these individuals. Actually, some of my biggest accounts I've signed literally from my living room. I'm somebody who works from home a lot, although I have my office space. Before we had official office space, we literally started at home, working from the living room, working from the dining room, and I literally walking up and down, pacing in those spaces, talking to persons over the phone, or we are doing online meetings and so forth. And when you really think about it, the interaction is not any different for us, because the same way how I would sit down in front of somebody and show them a system, how it works, and demonstrate that I'm able to share my screen just like what I'm doing now, and demonstrate our capabilities to the customer, So the number one reason really is market penetration, market expansion, business expansion. E-commerce is the number one channel to actually grow your business, to really surpass any boundary. I was in a meeting with a customer recently, and this is a company that has many branches worldwide, and they were actually looking to set up a new branch. The customer said to me that, listen, yes, we'll be setting up this new branch. However, we want to be shifting our focus to looking at how is it that we can make online our biggest branch, because most persons are looking at how is it that they can get less customers coming into their physical locations. More customers means that you need to provide more support for those customers when they come into your physical locations. So whether it be more computers for persons, for admin staff, more business space, meaning that if it is that it's a banking hall, they need to have a sizable space to hold persons. These are some of the things that you have to think about when you consider why it is that you need e-commerce. If you think about, for instance, somebody who is a manufacturer who sells even, for instance, Jamaican products. Jamaican products. Jamaica right now is a hot topic right around the world, and we oftentimes produce products that are in high demand. How do you get those products being distributed worldwide, not just locally, but all over? So you have to think about some of these things, when you're considering your e-commerce strategy and how you roll out. But the number one reason really for going into e-commerce is the reach that you have without physically having to move. And also when you think about the level of the investment that is required to set up an e-commerce facility as opposed to setting up a physical business infrastructure, it's literally a fraction of that amount, you know. So those are definitely some of the main reasons why persons will typically want to use e-commerce, right? Now, we'll be getting straight into the 10 things that you need to know about moving your business online and doing it in a way that is done successfully. We're pretty much breaking it down into 3 main areas: structuring the business online, generating sales, and also automating the business, right? So I'm going to go straight into structuring your e-commerce approach. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that companies or managers tend to make when setting up an online business is that they take the approach of, hey, you know, I want to build a website for my business. You've already started the wrong way, right? If you want to be successful in e-commerce, you have to look at the website as an extension or a virtual replication of the physical business. You need to model your offline operations online. It's the only way it will work. Because when you think about it, an e-commerce business does not only happen online, it still needs persons behind it, still need your staff members behind it. You know, you still need to support it manually. And if it is that you are required to do the online business in a different way than you do your offline business, then it will never truly work for you in maximizing what you've already done. Remember that you've already, especially for persons who already have businesses set up, remember you've spent months, years refining and fine-tuning your business approach, how you sell your product. It is going to be, again, another long wait time if you're going to be doing the same thing for your online version of your business. You know, if you're going to be structuring something totally different. In essence, what you'll be doing in that way is actually creating a separate version of your business. That's the wrong way to go about it. If you want to be successful in e-commerce, it first needs to start with you doing the business online in the exact same way you do the business offline. I'll give a quick example. If you think about, for instance, hold on there. If you think about, for instance, a restaurant, and I'm going to use a restaurant because restaurants are familiar to everybody. Everybody has to eat, and most persons have ordered in or actually had a reservation at a restaurant before that they've had to attend and so forth. So we're going to use the example of replicating a restaurant online. Now, typically you walk into a restaurant, let's say for instance it's going to be a Chinese restaurant, right? You walk into a Chinese restaurant and this time around it's maybe lunchtime and you want to just see what's on their menu. You'll walk in, you'll take a little brochure on the desk, you'll read it and you'll choose something. It's the same thing online. If you actually want to move your business or your restaurant online, then you first thing you need to do is have a menu. I don't understand how some restaurants are setting up their websites and they just have information about the website. Long gone, guys, are the days where information on a website makes a website. If your website is not working for you, then it is not being implemented properly. So when you think about a restaurant, the person as a customer who walks in wants to see is, what do you have on the menu? Maybe if you can able to take a glimpse of how it looks, that would even be beneficial. But more so what's on the menu and the pricing, you know? So pictures do help. You have to remember as well that when you're selling online, it's a lot different from offline. When you're offline in person, the cashier, the person who is serving you, can answer questions. You know, there are things like, for instance, hey, is it spicy? How does it taste? What kind of gravy do you have? You know, these are questions that you can typically ask when you're speaking to somebody in person. However, when you're online, you don't have that interaction going on unless you implement a live chat system. Live chat is definitely one of the things that can boost your website throughput rate because it gives persons confidence that, hey, somebody's here to help me if it is that I get lost along the way or something like that, you know. But in a sense, displaying your menu is a key area of your website when somebody goes online in the case of a restaurant. Now, you look over to the right and you see where you actually have your delivery option, whether it's delivery pickup, whether you're paying by cash or card. Again, it's pretty much the same thing as if you walk into a restaurant. Is it you're paying cash card? Is it you're calling it in, or you're for them to deliver it, or you're going there to pick it up? These are some things that you have to consider. Now, again, using the same Chinese restaurant. So it's no longer lunchtime, you're not at the office and trying to order lunch. This time, you want to have dinner, and you want to make it special, so you want to book your reservation. Simply having the ability to go on, fill out a form, choose the date and time that you actually want to have a reservation again. You're able to choose cash delivery. Whether you want to pay by cash or card and so forth when you're doing that type of booking. If it is that you want to also charge for bookings of a reservation. If you don't want to charge for bookings, then you can simply allow the person to submit, you know. And of course, finally, when you walk into any restaurant, you typically see their opening hours on the door. You maybe want to know where their location is. These are some of the things that you have to consider. So when you think about moving a business online, you have to think about how the business operates already offline before looking at how you move online, because you also have to structure your content and the information on your website to match as such, right? Now, I mentioned earlier as well that you need to structure your website to be doing work for you, not just giving customers information, but more so giving them an avenue, a channel to acquire your products and services through your website, right? Now, typically for any transaction that a customer is doing, they're either doing one of four things. They're either signing up, whether it's for instance an educational institution or otherwise, you're either signing up, you're ordering online, you're booking online, or you're requesting a quotation, right? For online signups, it could easily be an educational institution. And signups could be things like sign up for membership. Membership is similar to a school fee, registration, you know, where you're signing up to register. And then maybe it is that you're also signing up for a course or you're signing up for a service. There are different models behind the sign up process that person typically roll out. And it is typically tailored as well to the type of institution that is being set up. So even for instance, if you think about a membership club, they also need a sign up system. It's very much the same. Thinking about as well online ordering, a lot of times person think about online ordering, think about food, but you also can consider any product that is manufactured or distributed. So if it is that you're a distributor, if it is that you're a manufacturer, you make stuff, you can set up an online store for persons to come here and order online, right? Also to think about as well online bookings. How is it that you as a service provider can facilitate online bookings so that your day is not wasted? Oftentimes, one of the challenges that persons will come to us and say, hey, Leighton, I need an online booking system that allows me to sign up customers, and some of the times you want them to make payment beforehand, because a lot of times when I do online bookings and I have to go to the office and sit and wait on them and they don't show up, it really impacts my business and wastes my time. However, when somebody has financially committed, they are more likely to keep the booking, and also the service provider is confident that this individual will be coming for their booking. And if it is that they have decided not to, then at least their time has not been wasted. So having an online booking system, I know, is definitely something that a lot of service providers appreciate, especially when you're looking at, for instance, persons within the beauty, hotel and tourism, consultation, medical fields, those types of fields. These guys tend to value having online bookings as part of their setup, So that's definitely another area that you can consider when thinking about these types of things. Now, the final one is like a request and a quotation. And requesting quotations tend to be typically the trickier trickiest of all of them. And this is because typically when you provide a service that requires a quotation and you don't know what the costing will be before the customer gets the work done. So typically in this case, it requires you to provide a quotation, request a quote. As part of requesting that quotation, you'll typically send an invoice, and on that invoice, you can also collect payment. So those are the 4 areas that you want to think about, and you want to ensure that when you're setting up your business, you're positioning yourself to take advantage of at least one of those types of selling strategies that are typically executed in offline businesses, right? Now to point number 3, which is choosing your platforms. Boy, this is one of the biggest mistakes that I think persons oftentimes make when doing websites. And I'm exemplifying two platforms here, WordPress versus Shopify. But there are also many others like Wix, and there's also the ability to build your website custom made. Now, literally, you're looking at mainly three options for choosing your platform. You can either choose to use a free platform like a Wix, Shopify, I know, are not necessarily free, but a do-it-yourself platform. You have some entrepreneurs who are willing to do it themselves that may not have the money to invest in the building of the website. So, they'll have to just do it from scratch. I was one of those entrepreneurs. I literally did a very small course in very basic website development just so that I could set up an online business to test and figure out how this thing really worked. But you have those types of persons who will do it themselves. And then you have persons who will pay to have somebody, a professional like myself, do up the website for them in a way that empowers the business to be able to get as much done out of the exercise. Now, these are the mistakes that persons typically tend to make when choosing their platform. First of which is going down to India or Pakistan or one of those Far East countries to get your website built custom made. Now, custom made websites are generally built very specific for the business. And because it is built so specific for the business, oftentimes it does not lend any flexibility in any after development changes. So for instance, you build this website, I know you need to add a new page, you need to add a new system, you need to add new functions to it. You're finding that, boy, the website developer is charging you an arm and a leg to make these changes simply because of the complexity of the initial build that was done. Also, I can't tell you how many times persons have gone all the way down to that site to get their developments done and have to come back to us to say, hey, Leighton, I went down to these guys down in India to build this website and they don't know how the payment system works. Why? Because they're not familiar with our region. They don't know how it works within our region, what the nuances are. So these are things that you have to consider when setting up your website with custom developers, right? Now then there is the Shopify type of website builder who will do it themselves, and this works for a person who just want to get something extremely basic going, something that does not offer much flexibility, and you just want to get started. That serves its purpose. However, what you find again is that because of how basic the platform is, you're not able to scale much from that system. You find that once you start wanting to do more, once you start wanting to personalize the experience that you deliver on the platform, you're not able to do so. We have to keep in mind, guys, that every business is different and every business is unique. And although we may have two online stores, both of them want to do the business in their own way so that they can compete on their own terms. And using a simple platform like this that does not extend the functionality that you need will definitely hamper you. For us, WordPress is the #1 way to go about building your website. Why is this so? It allows you to build a platform. First and foremost, WordPress is an open source solution that developers are all around the world contribute. Even our development team contributes to the building of WordPress because customers will come to us with custom requirements and we have to fulfill them for them. And when we build these solutions, they're oftentimes made available for other persons to use. Now, WordPress is loved by me simply because it gives customers the flexibility to get started with a basic, simple build out, what we call a minimum viable product. You can test what works for you and then add as you grow, there's no limit to where you can go with WordPress. And there's also, literally, I've seen where we can scale down huge websites down to a simple audience system. That's what we've actually done during COVID, while so many customers are now coming to us. We've literally been able to take out elements of the WordPress systems that we typically build and offer them as standalone solutions for individuals to use, So this is definitely one of the reasons why we recommend WordPress. Also, One of the main reasons, again, is because WordPress offers an app for everything, just like your Google Play Store, your Apple Store. You have an app literally for everything. So it costs also a fraction of what it would take to build a website, a full e-commerce website, custom made. It's a fraction because literally these solutions, these tools are just there ready to be plugged on to your website, and you literally, instead of building the tool and then doing the integration, you only would incur the integration costs. And if you're techie savvy yourself, then you could also look at seeing how you could do your own integrations online. Right?
Leighton, just to interject, somebody wants to just confirm if it's wordpress.org or wordpress.com.
Well, WordPress, I don't remember which one of them really, because WordPress is a tool, by the way. You can check out WordPress.org. I know WordPress.org has a lot of information about WordPress itself and its capabilities. Also, what I recommend for persons to do, if you can, is just YouTube WordPress, how to use WordPress. YouTube is a good teacher of solutions, and we definitely recommend using those channels to learn more about these solutions. All right, so that's covering your business strategy, your e-commerce strategy. Now we'll be jumping into how you generate sales online. Now, going back to what we initially said, that building websites is not just about putting up information on the website. For us, your website is your virtual business. It is the face of your business. I'll give you an easy example. For instance, Mobile X Solutions is a company that has a physical business location, but all of our products are digital. All of our sales occur digitally. And because we realized as well that, hey, listen, majority of our customers are persons who look for our solutions, look for them international. They're not looking for them locally, so they'll go online and they'll do a Google search. And when they do that Google search, they will look for whatever solution provider that comes up in that search and try to engage them and work with them. And because we realized that, we decided, hey, let's look at focusing our sales energy towards our website strategy. And in essence, what it really has become is the face of our business, our website. If, for instance, if you've seen any of the interviews that I've done, when persons ask about how to contact Mobile Edge, it is always a website URL that is given, never a phone number, never a location, because our website acts as a sales tool all by itself. And you will notice that my website, this is a snapshot of my website. Once you land on my website, call to actions will kill you. Probably you'll be confused which call to action to click, But if you think about walking downtown on a busy Friday evening, how many persons are calling out to you? Sir, take a look over here, sir, I have this I sell, sir, this, sir, that. This is them calling out to you, And in a sense, it's the same concept online. Persons land on your website. What action do you want these persons to take? What journey do you want them to take? What is the end result that you want a customer, what action you want a customer to take after they've realized that they've found you? So you want to have these clear call to actions, and I like to use buttons for those reasons. You'll notice that I have a pricing button up here, I have a consultation button up here, and I also have this contact bar down here, which gives persons the ability to call us, email us, or even find our location. These are literally 5 different call to actions that we are 3 different call to actions that we're pushing out once somebody lands on our website. And I can't tell you how many leads come through these buttons on a daily basis, especially during COVID. And literally, we've been able to streamline those leads and have our agents call these individuals and reach out to them and have the necessary engagements with them. And we do it this way because we are a consulting agency, consulting firm. We first need to have conversations with the persons who are purchasing our products to understand their needs before giving pricing. However, I realized that once somebody found that, hey, after going to our website, Mobile Edge seems to be the type of company that they want to do business with. The next thing that they want to know is price. And that is why I put that pricing button up there. The pricing, I've experimented with many different call to actions before. And pricing gives me the most results from the engagement, you know. And it is simply just going into the mind of the customer, thinking about what exactly is it that I would want next if I identify that, hey, this is the company to serve my needs. And the next thing for us is pricing or getting a consultation. So we have those clear call to actions being placed on the website, right? And it is key for you guys. It can say it can manifest itself in the form of buttons, it can manifest itself in the form of pop-ups. However, there needs to be a clear call to action if you're selling, because you know you don't want the customer to just come in and start clicking around, browsing the website or reading. Yes, you want them to do that, but you have to want them to take an action at the end of that process. You know, you're in the business to sell. You're not in the business to provide information, you know. Now moving to executing the sale. Now, executing the sale, what do I mean by that? For any online business to work efficiently, there needs to be some type of systematic way of capturing orders, bookings, sign-ups, quotations. And in essence, this is really where the belly of the e-commerce system lies, in the ordering, in managing those orders and that entire process, you know. Executing the sale requires you to have an e-commerce system set up, readily waiting for customers to come in. So whenever persons go to, let's say for instance, you're shopping on Amazon and you decide, hey, I want to buy this jacket. You add the jacket to cart, you check out, and somebody needs to then receive that order so that they can process it. All e-commerce systems must come with some type of system like this. The beauty about this is that when you start to digitize your business and your sales process, then you're finding that you're able to actually see a lot of reports, you're able to get a lot more visibility over the business itself, as opposed to if it is that you're doing this outside of a system offline. I can't tell you how many businesses I've met with that are still writing down their orders in books and so forth. You know, at the end of the day, somebody has to go through and tally up all that information and so forth. As opposed to an e-commerce system that just generates a real-time report of what is happening in the system. If you look at even, for instance, this particular system, you're able to know what quotations are pending, which ones are new, which ones are on hold, which ones are new. You know, these are things that are very important as part of the e-commerce rollout that you set up. So no e-commerce system is complete without this type of infrastructure being in place. Now, collecting your money. Collecting money is always, I think that's the biggest hot topic and the area that I expect to get the most questions on at the end of this conversation, because it's also one of the biggest pain points that we have locally. However, I'll get into the credit card part of it a little bit later, but thinking again about your typical business and how you process payments internally. When you are a restaurant, you're either collecting cash or card. In my case, as a consultant, as a software development company, we will accept bank transfers, checks, cash to some extent, but we offer a wider range, you know, of different payment methods. You have to think about what payment method works best for you and your business. In Jamaica, credit card uptake is significantly increasing as the years go by. Also, internet penetration and so forth. So you're finding that a lot of persons are now having credit cards and feeling more comfortable making credit card payments. However, there are still those individuals out there who, whether they don't trust the credit card, they prefer not to use it, or they may prefer to, they don't have a credit card or debit card and they want to do a bank transfer, they want to pay by cash or even by check. I've even set up, you'll see here beside check payments through Western Union / MoneyGram. This is an example of something that was set up for a customer where they actually turn their check payment method into a Western Union payment method that allows persons who are overseas, because they actually provided services digitally to their customers, and they had persons overseas who wanted to make payments for them, to them, you know. So if you think about the different ways how you want to collect your money, it's not only about doing credit card, you have to offer more than credit cards, because what about the customer? who doesn't have a credit card is that you don't want your business. I want your business. So I would typically be turning on as many payment options as I can support for my business. And I recommend definitely doing this same. When it comes to credit card payments, however, the options are there. There are local payment options as well as international payment options. However, the challenge with local payment options is one, accessing the accounts. There's a lot of documentation that you need to fill out. A lot of times, our customers are small businesses who don't necessarily have the wherewithal to complete those documentation, because some of the times those documents will require audited financials, it will require TCC, it will require a lot of things that we generally bundle up and call red tape that prevents a small business who has not been dotting every I and crossing every single T from the beginning of their business engagement to be able to acquire these accounts. There's also the cost component, because when I think about setting up with a local bank, you're looking at anywhere between 500 US to as much as 1500 US just to get the account open. And you're not starting to talk about the fees that the developer will charge to integrate that with your website. So those are your local options. And currently the local providers in the market include NCB, Scotiabank, Sagicor, CIBC, and newcomers First Global Bank, right? And they all have their own set of fees and their own requirements and so forth. I will tell you that I requested some documentation to sign up with one of those banks, and I got up to 10 documents. There's also another that I requested the same, and only got 4. So you may find that some banks, you may find a little bit more favorable to you. Also, what to find as well, and I'll drop this is key, guys, when you're thinking about setting up your business. Let's have this conversation yesterday with a new client that we're just completing their website for. When you're setting up a new business in Jamaica, you're able to get a lot of banking services being set up within the first 3 months of getting that business open. Your TCC is still valid. The banks require far less documentation to be able to set up the accounts for you. So for instance, things like audited financials would not make sense for a company that is 2 months old or 1 month old. What they'll ask for in this case is projections. So for persons who really want to get set up with the local banks and they're setting up their business, try to get as much banking services set up within the first month of registering that business, because you'll find that you'll save a lot of headache down the line, get your Jamaican accounts, your US accounts, your credit cards, all of those systems, get them in place, because it will make a big difference when you get on your way. Then you have the international payment options, which include persons like Stripe, PayPal, and also 2Checkout. 2Checkout currently does not support Jamaica. They've pulled out, and there are a lot of reservations around service in Jamaica because of the high fraud, But 2Checkout is available in many of the other Caribbean countries, and you can think about connecting that with your Pioneer card so that you can collect your funds thereafter. But in a sense, those are the international options that are available to you. For Stripe in particular, you need to have US accounts, US credentials, because Stripe does not offer what we call a wallet system. It requires you to connect your e-commerce infrastructure to an actual bank account to collect those funds, right? And once you've collected those funds, then you have to think about also getting the monies back in Jamaica. So whilst the Jamaican bank accounts are tricky in getting set up, the challenge with the international payment option is getting access to the funds after the transactions have been completed, right? One of the things that we have done, however, for our PayPal customers to actually offer PayPal transfer service, where typically the main way to get access to your PayPal funds after a transaction is completed is to actually request a check. That check will typically take a few weeks to be delivered and then another 30 days to be cleared, because it is an international check. As Mobile Edge, because we have been dedicating our services to servicing our customers, helping our customers to build up this e-commerce infrastructure, where we decided to help our customers to fill that void by actually offering a PayPal transfer service that allows them to cash out their PayPal funds within 48 hours. Literally, all they need to do is transfer the amount that they want to cash out to our account, and then we make a payout to your local bank. So that's one way that we've been helping our Jamaican customers to get access to their account. If it is that you have family and friends overseas and you have bank accounts overseas, then you can easily connect them directly to your bank, and you can manage your money on your own time. But I'm sure you guys will have a lot of questions around this, and when I get into the question and answer segment, I'll address them a little bit more. Right? Now, fulfilling orders. So a customer has purchased from you, you've collected their money. Now it's time to give them exactly what they purchased, right? Now, a lot of times persons only think about pick up and delivery, but oftentimes persons don't think about digital sales. How is it that I sell an ebook? How is it that I sell something that is creative? Digital downloads is definitely a way to sell that. And with digital downloads, once the customer checks out and makes your payment, the system can recognize that the payment has been collected and actually send a link for the person to download the file. For pickup, think about a typical restaurant, that you may order from, or even, for instance, you see a lot of persons offering curbside pickup right now for the supermarkets. That's another ordering fulfillment option that can be made available to you. Delivery, however, is what maximizes the e-commerce potential of the business, because that allows you to stay from wherever you are and also allow the customer to stay where they are and receive the goods that you are providing to them. Now, oftentimes persons will ask us, what are the best delivery options that are available out there? We don't deal directly with the delivery service providers, but I can tell you that, for instance, Tara Couriers is definitely one of the preferred delivery partners that you should consider, because they have deep penetration island-wide. They have drop centers that you can send the goods to. You can also send it directly to somebody's house in the middle of nowhere, and they will help you to find that individual. There's also a person like Knoxford who will do city to city or town to town and drop offs. I'm sure there are a number of others. I see a lot of courier services popping up as well in offering these services. But you have to consider your delivery options, because that enables you to maximize the e-commerce opportunity of the business. Another option that a lot of persons will ask about is what are the ideal shipping options for international shipping. Jamaica Post has come a far way, yes. The same regular post office that we pick up our mail has come a far way in actually powering delivery of goods from Jamaica to external markets. I know personally a number of persons who use them, and they have been pretty comfortable with the delivery rate, success rate, the timeliness of those deliveries. And even, for instance, I was wondering, aren't you having many issues with packages being lost? And that's actually not a problem with Jamaica Post at the moment. So they're definitely one of the delivery options that we recommend for persons who are doing international delivery, right? So when you're actually setting up your e-commerce system, this is a screenshot of what the backend look like in terms of setting up that delivery. So as I mentioned, you can have actually pickup, and you can have a flat rate where there's round town or Kingston delivery. You can also have rural delivery. You have to think about it in the context of how the delivery is offered. If the package has to go further, then naturally the delivery is more. There are also instances where you have to consider the weight of the package when it is being shipped, and you have to also look at setting all of this up as part of the booking process, so that when somebody is checking out, if there's a delivery fee that needs to be added, it can be added, and payments are calculated so that you can now pay your delivery person to fulfill the order that is being shipped out. Now, automating the business. This is also another reason why I encourage persons to consider e-commerce, because e-commerce focuses you to do things that are prescribed manner. And prescribed manner meaning that you have to really think about the steps in how you deliver the service, because you're not able to deliver it on the fly. You're not able to talk to the customer when they walk into the branch. You're not able to have that person-to-person interaction. You have to really think about setting up the business and having it being managed in an efficient way. I know that, for instance, a lot of entrepreneurs will think about e-commerce when they're thinking about a side hustle, when you're thinking about making extra money for themselves. In that event, you have a 9-to-5 that you're working, and you're strapped for time. So you want to be able to automate as much of the business as possible that you can, right? So one way to automate your business is communication. The one thing that we realize with Mobile Edge, for a business to happen online successfully, there needs to be two things. There needs to be the ability to collect your monies, and there needs to be efficient communication with the person who is buying the product from you. The e-commerce systems that we typically develop send out automated receipts, automated shipping confirmations, automated invoices. If it is that, let's say, for instance, somebody requested a quotation, you want to confirm with them that you received that quotation. You don't want to leave them in limbo. Sometimes you leave them in limbo, then they may find somebody else to get that service from. You understand? So you need to have very clear communication with your customer. So a simple thing as generating an order receipt for the customer is important. Right away, you're able to see the order number, you're able to see the amount of money, you're able to see even the payment method that was used to make this order from that particular customer. Right? So you have to think about some of these things when you're setting up your online infrastructure. You know. Also, another thing to think about is how do you keep customers coming back? So customers have visited your website, they have purchased from you, or maybe they didn't purchase from you. How do you keep those customers coming back? How can you automate that process? I can't tell you how many times I have visited a website, and then all of a sudden it seems as if the website is following me around everywhere. I'm on my phone and see this thing. I click on the shows on this website and I see when I browse it on Google, I see anything I've seen it elsewhere. Those are some of the things that you have to consider when setting up your business. You want to automate as much because you want to limit the workload that comes with doing the business online. And this is one of the beautiful things that I like about doing business online. You're able to automate the process and you're able to engage the customer in a very meaningful way once they've interacted with you. So for instance, keeping customers coming back. This is an example of one of our customers that they have done successfully. And pretty much this is a travel company in Jamaica that allows persons to go online and book their travel services. However, what we'd encourage them to do is say, hey, how are you going to capture leads? So how are you going to provide value to customers who come to your website and are not yet ready to book your service? We encourage them to create a comprehensive guide of travel attractions in Jamaica and so forth that somebody can download. So once somebody comes on the website and they see that section that says, let the fun begin, see Jamaica's #1 travel guide. Once they click on that, then the customer has to put in their name and email, and then that guide is sent to the customer for download. One thing about online business guide, you have to always remember that we're honest to sell. Never give something for nothing. Always be trying to collect customers' information. One of the things I will tell you is that when you think about what you can achieve with online business, once you have a customer's name, phone number, email address, you can reach them wherever they are with any information to communicate with them. So once persons visit this website and fill out this information, automatically they are added to a mailing list so that the company can then reach out to them and remarket whenever they have specials, anything at all that is happening they can use. So this is what we call a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is a valuable piece of resource that persons will want to download. However, to access the resource, they have to give you some information, and you want to collect the email and not allow persons to be able to open it in a tab, because what you find is that sometimes persons will give you a wrong email to get access to information. But guess what? If you will be mailing out the information a person needs to download to their email, then they must give you the right email, right? So that's one strategy that we've employed with our customers, and it has worked. Now, this is a snapshot of our personal MailChimp account. This is our email marketing tool. And the beautiful thing about using these systems again is that you get real-time information about what is happening in the system. So right away, I can see where I sent out an email campaign about this JBDC webinar today. You can see the percentage opens. You can see how many persons click. It can give you real information to know exactly what is happening and what to expect from the campaigns that you're running. Also, even for instance, this is a snapshot of our SMS system. One of the things I probably did not mention earlier is that Mobile Edge started out before doing SMS wholeheartedly. Like we're doing SMS only for years. As Port of Caribbean, we transitioned to this business to empower customers to do more within the mobile space. So we actually have our own SMS platform that we provide to companies like NCB, First Heritage Credit Union, Companies Office of Jamaica, and a number of other businesses. And the beautiful thing about using SMS in your business is that only 50% of Jamaica has internet penetration. Over 100% has internet. I've run promotions before with companies like Hypro that have used SMS as the communication channel to reach their customers simply because of the demographic that they service. They service farmers, persons who are in their fields, and they're straight on my phone. These guys are using. These guys are not on any smartphone or anything like that. And the beautiful thing about, and I'm not going to say that all farmers are using them, so don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that in any demographic, you can reach them, whether it is that the person is old, young, it doesn't really matter. Once you use SMS, you're able to reach them, and that is why SMS will never grow old. Sometimes persons will say, "Leighton, why not use WhatsApp?" Going back to the same thing with WhatsApp, you need internet connection. Not everybody, and a lot of persons who have smartphones don't have data on their phones consistently. You have to think about some of these things. So when you pair SMS, email with a website link, then you're able to reach a customer to share information about your offering, empower them to order online and receive your goods easily. Pairing these solutions is very important. And what we've actually done as a company is to actually empower small businesses to use this system by allowing you to use it free of charge once you're selling less than 5,000 messages per month. So we try to make it very affordable because we know persons need this thing. You cannot have healthy business transactions without efficient communication. Even if it's just sending customers alerts, sending them specials, whatever it is. A lot of times even persons will use SMS systems to generate leads. One of the things that we've done beautifully with a company like NCB, we work with NCB since 2010. I noticed that a lot of their advertisements on TV, on billboards, and so have strong SMS call to action. Whether it is that persons want to purchase are interested in taking out loans, they'll say text the keyword loan to this particular number for more information. Persons text that in, and right away they're able to forward those leads to their sales agents to follow up with them and close the lead. So these are some of the things that you can consider as part of your e-commerce strategy. Yes, SMS itself is not e-commerce, but what you're thinking about here is leveraging these e-commerce and mobile tools to empower the business to be able to generate sales from the customers wherever they are. It should not matter, And also think about what if your customer is traveling? What if your customer is overseas? How do you reach them? How do you really get the most value out of engagement with the customer, right? Now, managing operations is one of the things that oftentimes persons forget about when they're in getting involved in e-commerce. Oftentimes persons think that, hey, it's a set it, leave it, and forget it type of thing. No. And this is because oftentimes persons are taking the approach of, I'm going to build a website for my business. No. Managing online operations is just as crucial or even more crucial than setting up a proper e-commerce website, because without persons behind the business to interact with the customers, whether it be through a live chat system or to process orders when they come in, to respond to emails to customers, to view reports of what is happening in the system and make tweaks as you go along. One of the beautiful things about managing online operations using e-commerce systems is to get a lot of information from these systems. Last month we were actually offering a promotion which we've now extended to this month, and I'll tell you a bit of a promotion towards the end of this slide. But in a sense, we're running the promotion, we're running on social media, we're running on some of the online media platforms for the local newspaper providers. And immediately we were able to determine that one particular local media provider was not turning out much results as we would want, and we were literally able to shift our budget towards the areas that work best for us. Without having these type of systems in place, you're not able to tell that type of engagement with the customer. So for instance, when I reached out to Sansa yesterday to just check to see how the numbers were looking for today, whilst I was happy to hear that the subscription is through the roof, I was also not surprised, because just looking at, for instance, my ad campaigns that I was running on social media, I saw we had over 400 clicks of the ads, and that even if, for instance, half of those persons fill out the form, then we don't get a pretty good conversion rate. So these things are very helpful when you're thinking about setting up your online business and so forth. reporting is extremely important. So this is an example of a report that you can get from your e-commerce system, showing you how many sales you got, how many products were sold, the average sale per month. Even for instance, looking at the bottom here, you'll see your shipping charges. These systems are even able to put in tax amounts, so you're able to run full reports and export this information into an Excel file that you can then break down even further, right? For my website, this is a snapshot of my own website, the same mobile edge website that you may have visited at some point in time. Now, right away, you're able to see the total number of persons who visited the website, the bounce rate are persons who visit and leave right away, or versus persons who stay, able to see the average time that somebody spends on your website. These things are critical information that are used to continuously improve the website. Don't think that when you build a website, you're going to build it and forget about it. No. Just like every other business, you have to be continuously doing process improvement. The website is the same thing. I've had to do my website, redo my website maybe about 3-4 times. Not necessarily redo, I don't mean redo the entire website, but I mean redo the messaging. As I mentioned to you guys before JBDC, we're a bit confused about how to communicate what we did, and that's how us continuously refining that message, continuously refining till we got it right. And it's literally information from these types of analytics that empower us to be able to make those types of decisions, right? And lastly, I mentioned in terms of systems. Funny enough, this morning, right before, I've never seen anything like this before, right before the session was supposed to start, my laptop just would not turn on. It refused to turn on. Literally, I had to go back home for my second laptop and plug it in. And literally, because we have already set up our business online, where literally we're working in the cloud, we don't store information on the computer itself. Because you have to remember, when I set up an online business, you also have to think about the persons who are working in the business. How do they access files? How do they access information about the business? These are things that you have to set. So literally, what you're looking at here is an example of our working group, and persons can access information directly out of that group. So literally, I was able to switch over my laptop and literally log on back online and access that information readily. Without something like this in place, I would not have been able to show this presentation today. I literally have to come on and probably try to wing it, talk it through, something like that. But because my systems are online and I can access the information wherever I am, it becomes important. Also, when you think about influencers, the self-starters, entrepreneurs who are head cook and bottle washer, you want to be able to access somebody who wants pricing about something. You can easily just download it from your phone and send it out. You have to think about these things when you're engaging your customers, right? So that pretty much wraps up the 10 things that I wanted to touch on that are very important for business when you're setting up online. Before I take the question and answers up, I just want to quickly also share with you some specials that we are extending for persons who are on this webinar. Literally, for the rest of this month, we're offering 50% off all e-commerce systems. We're offering 10,000 towards your SMS account, which covers training and setup, and we're also offering no transaction fees for PayPal transfer. So these are things that you can take advantage of if you're interested in learning more about these things. Then you can just simply visit our website and click on that pricing button. Once you click on that pricing button, you'll book a free consultation with us to really explore how these systems can work for you, And these consultations are free of charge. Even if you're just brainstorming an idea and want to figure out, hey, how can I get this thing going? How can I streamline this thing? We offer these free consultations to help you guys, Additionally, as well, we'll be offering special for you guys an ebook that we will email out to all of the persons who would have been on this call. However, what we're going to do is we're going to just ask everybody to just drop their emails in the chat for us to get access to those emails. Once it becomes available, you'll get access to it. And in essence, what it will be doing is expanding on this presentation that I've made to you guys, going deeper into the e-commerce solutions, recommending even some of the top providers that we work with and so forth. Leave the emails in the chat, guys. We'll definitely want to send out this information to you. But pretty much that covers the main areas that we wanted to touch on today. I'm sure you guys are bursting with questions, so I'll allow Sansia to take the floor now and let's get those questions going.
Leighton, the chat room has taken on a life of its own. I can't even find the questions anymore. I mean, people in here just spitting wisdom, Sharina, Monique, Jermaine, everybody having conversations about the different options that you have presented. But before we get into the questions, I wrote down two that I find to be a concern, maybe personally, I don't know, but I think I think when I ask them, it might be something that you find as well. I find that particularly with local websites, even if they have an e-commerce option, they will put call our inbox for the cost. What do you say to a business person who says that they do not advertise their costs for the services or the products on their website?
Well, I know that, for instance, that is very popular on Instagram, especially because a lot of persons when they're launching their business, they look to social media as a channel to really provide that type of engagement with the customer. And the challenge with social media is that it still requires that manual approach, and that is why, for instance, a lot of times persons may either decide that they're going to leave the pricing or they're going to have that call and ask. The reality is that if you're going to be thinking about scaling the business, there's only you and no more. So how are you going to facilitate efficient follow-up and support with those persons who call and ask for your pricing? I know that, for instance, in some instances, persons will want to hide their pricing because of competitive reasons, especially when you sell a product that 100 other persons are on Instagram selling. But in a sense, what you can do, because I'm probably one of those guilty parties who would say call and ask, but the difference between my message to my customer is click here to get pricing, right? And in a sense, what you're doing is that you're streamlining the process in a way that allows the customer to be able to fill out that information, get the information, and make a decision accordingly. But the call and ask, if it is that you have it on a website, that's not the right way to go about. What you want to do is that you want to allow your website to be a tool that can offer the customer and the ability to help themselves on their own, to do the business on their own, without even interacting. Or if it's that they need for the interaction, then maybe they can pick up the phone and call you. But you won't be fully utilizing an e-commerce system. Also, if you think about the automation things that we have done, that we touched on earlier, how are you going to automate a follow-up with somebody after you've had to call them and give them the information? So we definitely encourage persons to have systems. Don't think about the systematic way how you want to operate. Is that if you want to operate manually, then maybe e-commerce isn't for you. Some persons are just hustlers, and
right.
hustling. If you want to set up a business, you need processes and systems that JBDC has taught us that over and over and over again. And literally, what e-commerce forces you to do is to put those systems in place.
Okay. All right. Just for the persons in the chat room, you don't have to post your email addresses in the chat because we already have them, and so we will pass on the ebook to you, so you will get that. I have a question for you from Rochelle Lewis Leighton.
Right.
What are some opportunities for writers in the e-commerce space, and how does e-commerce firms protect the data they collect from customers?
Very, 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 very beautiful question. First part of the question, writers. Now, guys, right now, content is king.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
king. You cannot lose by having too much content online. I will tell you flat out that there are days where my blog generates more traffic to my websites than the ads that I run. Keep in mind that I make one investment for each blog post as opposed to a monthly investment to run ads. And when you see blog posts outperforming ads, it tells you that, hey, you're onto something. I'll give you an example. Collecting payments online in Jamaica. We did an article on that about 2017, 2018. And to date right now, if you Google how to accept payments online, I guarantee you will find that article in public the first 5 searches. There are many times I see the first thing, and some of the times it even ranks above my own ads. So when it comes to writing right now, you cannot lose by being a writer. I think writers are commanding more respect. They are also charging more monies more recently because persons are realizing that, hey, if you're going to be selling online, you need to be providing content. You need to be having your email marketing. Email marketing is all about pitching the business, you know, and you want to have persons who are skilled writers, who can write copy, who can write things that get persons to get interested in whatever it is that you're selling. So right now, writing is definitely one of the services that persons are looking for. And I will tell you flat out that if you are a writer who are looking for opportunities, then you can definitely shoot me an email and we can put you on our list, because you know we get requests a lot from our customers to provide these type of services to them, and we ourselves don't do it. What we will do is that we will contract persons who we have confidence in to handle some of the marketing elements of the products for our customers. So definitely, guys, if you're into writing, now is the time for you. In terms of protecting content, there are ways to protect content. So for instance, you would have seen here where that same tour company that has that guide that persons can download and so forth. Now, that piece of document had to be secured because it loses its purpose if we can't get the email for the access. So there are tools and solutions out there to secure digital content in a way that ensures that persons either have to visit the website or they have to log into a portal to be able to get access to that content. So there are ways to go about doing that, and we can walk you through the steps. There are even ways for persons to sell the content online and ensure that they're not able to share the same content to individuals who are not paying customers. So there are solutions out there to definitely secure your content that you've spent so much time working on.
Wonderful. Thanks, Leighton. Somebody wants to know how often you post to your blog.
Personally, we have not been posting as much as we want to, but we recommend at least once per month, and it depends on the type of business as well. Sometimes as well, I mean, it depends on how you want to roll out. When we post blogs, we like to send an email to the customer promoting the blog, but we also don't like to bombard our customers too much, because we find that if you bombard the customer too much, they will start seeing you as a spammer, or you may lose.
That's correct.
Right. So for instance, when customers receive an email from me, they know more than likely that, hey, I'm coming with some information, I'm making an offer. More than likely I want to see what Leighton is talking about, what he's sending me right now. But if you're sending emails multiple times per week, then in a sense, you see it and you don't see that. How many persons who send those types of things daily, weekly, and so forth. But it really comes down to you, the customer, and how it is that you want to engage. And it really comes down to the form of engagement as well. Let's say, suppose it is that you're giving me something for free. If you're giving me something for free, you can email me every single day. I want that email because I'm getting something. But if it is that you're just sending me spam, sending me information about this, about that, then maybe I don't want it more than once per week or once per month. It really comes down to your business etiquette, how you want your customers to see you, how you want to interact with the customer, and the value that you want to provide to your customer through that engagement.
Right. All right. So Stephanie Mullings was asking if Leighton is a BDO at Development Bank of Jamaica. No, he's not. He's the managing director of Mobile Edge Solutions, and his contact information is right there on the screen. So if you want to get in contact with him, that is where you do so. I have 3 questions that were sent to me by Elijah before the presentation. I'm just going to go ahead and ask them quickly. What are the different ways you can collect money through e-commerce? I think you exhausted that, Leighton. Best marketing tools, and he's also asking what are the best products to sell?
Good question. There are some marketing tools. For us, we find that advertising works. If it is that you want to definitely reach customers who are potential customers who you don't yet have an audience with. We find that social media advertising, especially Instagram and Facebook, works pretty well in just driving general awareness. Everybody's on one of either of those platforms. I find that Facebook gives you more engagement, but the Instagram definitely gives you a lot of awareness in the eyes. But another person who will click and take an action to get help from Facebook. I know persons will use the cool suites like to manage their social media platforms and so forth to do their marketing. But I find personally, that all the platforms out here to generate leads, nobody beats Google. Nobody beats Google because you find the customer, the Google user is in a different state of mind than the social media user. You find that the social media user is going through their feed, going about their daily business, or just seeking for entertainment, and because they may have something top of mind when they see your ad, they may click on it and express interest. But once you start looking at Google search, you're going to find that you're catching the customers in a different frame of mind, because when somebody has gone out of their way to search for something, they're actively looking for a solution. So you find that the persons who come through a Google search are more interested and quicker to buy as well. And generally, I tell you that for my platforms, majority of my leads come directly from Google search. So we never ever stop advertising on Google.
Fabulous. I see Almando has a question, and Almando is one of our accelerator participants. So, Almando, I'm going to unmute you and you go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your question, Almando.
Hey guys, and thanks Leighton. Very, very interesting content you're sharing right there. I just wanted to add to the points you raised. For example, for persons who are setting up their store, one of the main challenges they have is to produce the content for the e-commerce. Like for example, their product shots. If they're doing physical goods, the challenge is to get the quality of images so it to be appealing for their viewers. And so there are some free tools that are available as well. And I'll just insert one quickly, which is remove.bg. It's actually a background removal tool. So if you have the image and you want to remove the background so you're able to put it on a white or any other color background, you're able to do that online without leveraging expensive tools. So it's remove.bg. And of course, there are other tools that you can check in, like to use MailChimp, you have mentioned, Leighton. They can use MailChimp free to be able to manage their contact list and also to post to social media. But good job, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback, Amanda. Definitely, he mentioned something very key a while ago about the images. Funny enough, when I started this business, the first thing I did, just as part of my research, was to actually start an online store selling physical products, because I want to understand the nuances and the challenges that persons went through. And I am telling you, product uploading is one of the headaches that you will find. You'll find images in different sizes of the products that you want to upload. In the case that Armando mentioned, having product shots being clearly represented without the background, that's trust me, that is something that is key. And as Armando jumped in a while ago, so I also want to quickly mention that we actually have another webinar coming up on Friday with Armando and also from Tina from Cool Market, delving deeper into the e-commerce opportunities. So you guys want to visit his website, Armando, you can probably post the link in the chat so persons can sign up. Again, it's free as well. Armando will be sharing a lot more on tools that you can use in this engagement, and I'll also be touching on a few stuff. And Tina will be focusing on the marketplace opportunities within e-commerce. So if you're interested, definitely get that sign up going. Armando, just drop the link in the chat so the guys can also subscribe to that. Sansia, on to your next question.
Yes, before I get into my next question, I want to encourage everybody who is on this in this webinar today to make sure you read through the chat, because there is a lot of networking happening and there is a lot of information being shared. As Almando mentioned about photography a while ago, I noticed Yorkali Walters posted about the fact that he's a photographer. Now, I don't know Yorkali personally, but I know of him as a photographer, and he's good. So I'm recommending him. If you have images that you need to be taken, he can do that as well. And then there are other persons in there that are testifying to the different suggestions that you have made. Another question that I had for you, Leighton. While you were presenting, I was thinking about the fact that so many people are unbanked and so many people are not as tech savvy or do not have the access to the technology. How realistic is e-commerce in the context, in the Jamaican context?
It is extremely relevant, and this is why we recommend that persons do not go outside of Jamaica to find your technology partners when it comes to e-commerce. They need to understand the business landscape within which we operate, and the business itself has to fit within that infrastructure. So things like 50% internet penetration is important to understand what that means. Also, for instance, having less than 25% credit card penetration, you need to understand what that means. And this is why we mentioned that you must have multiple payment options. You cannot only depend on credit card payment option. A lot of times, persons will come to me saying, Leighton, I want to set up a website, I want to collect credit cards, and yada yada. When we start to look at what they don't have a registered business, they don't have this, they don't have that, and I say, hey, you know, you're going to have to use PayPal Go because based on the resources that you have and what you don't have, PayPal is the only option that will suit you. Well, Mr. Campbell, I don't want to use PayPal enough because some people that take a long while to get your money, this, that, yada, yada, yada. The reality, guys, is that you have to start somewhere, and what you may very well find is that a lot of your customers may make payment via cash or via bank transfer. So when you think about the timeline to get access to your PayPal funds, if you don't want to, let's say for example you want to request a check, you don't want to use any other third-party person to touch your money. You just want to request a check and get your money. And it takes you, say, 2 months to get access to your money. The reality is that that is not the only way that persons will pay you. So oftentimes, you will be able to use cash flow from other payment methods to run the business while you wait on that to come in. And maybe what you end up getting is a lump sum that can bolster the business in a particular direction. You know? So when you think about payment options, that is not something to stop the process. What you really want is for persons to be able to have a way of being able to get to you, to express interest in that product, to actually submit the order, to receive that confirmation the order was submitted, make some arrangement to make the payment. It does not have to be credit card, and being able to get the goods. Being able to get the goods right now, I'm sure is no issue. The amount of courier services I've seen pop up just during COVID alone makes it. So it's a very realistic approach. It just may not be realistic. Well, it is just not realistic for everybody to operate the same way because different companies have different resources, different structures. For instance, I had a credit union who wanted to get started right away. But a credit union can't start up with a PayPal. They have to get them local bank accounts set up based on how they make decisions internally, based on how they operate. They have to work based on their circumstance. You understand? So literally, and this is why I enjoy doing what I do, and this is why, for instance, I tell person that listen, if mobile edge cannot solve your e-commerce challenge, nobody can. Because what we do is to look at the business, the resources, and what it takes for this business to move your operations online. And we have many suggestions around how you can tweak and so forth. You know, but for everybody, there's a solution. Literally, once you sell a product or a service, there's a solution. Yes, not everybody may be tech savvy, but the reality, is that I can even call my grandmother now who is 94 on WhatsApp call. I didn't know that they would come, There's more than 50% penetration now in Jamaica. So persons are online, persons are doing the business, persons are used to going on Google and doing a basic research. Yes, not everybody may fulfill an order, but also think about it as well. Let's say somebody call you to buy something from you. You can also remember these systems come with back office operations. You can just log on and log that information just like how you would write it in the book. You understand? And when you send the customer that email with the receipt and the payment instructions, they can go ahead and complete that purchase. So it's really about us being entrepreneurial, understanding the context within which we operate, and making the necessary adjustments to make it happen. The reality is that there's absolutely nothing to lose by trying it. And you can start small, look at what works, and build on top of that.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Leighton. Wendell, I see your hand, and I'm coming to you, but I just want to give 2 plugs here that came in the chat. Nico A, he's a graphic designer, and he offers resizing, and he can offer his skill set to help in any way with anybody's business. His email address is jovidz.jm@gmail.com. So Nico, I'm not so certain what's your last name, but his email address is jovidz.jm@gmail.com. If you need any graphic support, you can make contact with him. And then the Singles Club 876.org, that becomes very relevant, particularly now in COVID when you can't leave your house and you're still single.
Yes.
You can go on to the Singles Club 876.com and see what can go on for you. All right, Wendell, I'm gonna unmute your mic and you go ahead with your question. Go ahead, Wendell.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Morning.
loud and clear.
Yeah. All right. So I have a question for Leighton. I have a service online. I think some you might be familiar with it. It's called SpurOpen.com. And we offer a solution that is somewhat similar to PayPal, GoFundMe, and Eventbrite in one, where persons can go on, create their page, their portal, and collect funds online, whether for events, whether they want to collect crowdfunding, donations. So we have a couple of churches that's using us to collect tithe and offering, and politicians use us to collect money. So we're functioning that way. The challenge I have is that because I am a merchant at the bank, I am charged the merchant fees, and then on top of that, I try to put on my fees on top of that.
Right.
So my fees are a major deterrent. So in other words, so there are other organizations that use our platform in the same way like how a client would use PayPal, where they kind of connect it to their website and so forth. Yeah. And we facilitate the Jamaican payment, we get the funds to them in 3 days, etc. But our fees are the PayPal fees, the banking fees, plus our rate. My question to you is, how does an organization like mine navigate that space where we now have to kind of deal with the banking space, plus put our markup on top of that to make a significant business, or to make the business make sense?
That's a tough spot to be in. I will tell you flat out that there's no way to go around fees, you know. Every single payment gateway service provider that exists locally or internationally has their own fees. So for instance, a Stripe will have fees as low as 2.9% if the credit cards are being generated, if the credit cards are US based, and 3.9% if they're international. PayPal goes up to as much as 5.4%. I know Sagicor does 3.9%, NCD is like 4.5%. You know, so there are these fees that you have to consider as part of the service. What I recommend to individuals, sorry about that. What I recommend to individuals is actually try to build those fees in your costs. In your instance where you're collecting monies, you're being a payment facilitator on behalf of your customer. It's tough to go around those fees, and they want to get as much of their money as possible. However, look at it this way: it's either they do it through you, or what's their alternative really, because they can't go to the bank to get an account. They can't go somewhere to get an account. So some of the times, persons will still work with you out of necessity. I think one of the key things to focus on, and this is what this is my main recommendation to persons who find themselves in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to figuring out e-commerce and what's the best move to make. Try to focus on what the value is that you're providing. If it is that you're providing persons who would not readily have access to these type of infrastructure and these type of services, the ability to do so, then focus on selling that value. Don't sell them on low transaction fees. Don't sell them on being able to collect as much money as possible and keep as much money as possible. You know, try to be realistic with them. Look at it in the business context, because literally what you're being is a third-party provider. The only way really to circumvent your fees is to actually be a PayPal, be a NCD payment gateway. You know, that really is the only option that we really have to go around these fees. You know, so I encourage you to focus on focus on the value that you provide to the customer and see how you can build on top of that value or provide even more value to them, because we have to go through the same thing as well when it comes to our PayPal transfer. And that is why, for instance, we don't force anybody towards that direction. We give them the option and they make the best decision that they can make for their business. But in a sense, you're providing really is a service that they would not have readily been able to access, and you just focus on what the value that you bring to them.
All right, fabulous. Thank you, Leighton. I see a hand up, Gregory Wint. I'm going to unmute your mic and you go ahead with your question. Go ahead, Gregory. Gregory?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello? Your connection is bad, but go ahead.
Yes, it's not so much of a question. It's really to endorse Spurs Open. They are a very good service for those who need any kind of e-commerce support. I'm a web developer myself, and I've worked with them, and they really are a good service. I just wanted to send that in so that everybody can be aware of them.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Gregory. All right, so what I'm going to do, I noticed that there are lots of plugs coming in. I see plugs from Camille about her real estate services and all of that. What I'm going to do with this chat is that I'm going to save it and email it to everyone that's registered today so that you'll be able to access this information, because the truth is that networking as we know it, it is no longer normal. This is what we're gonna have to do. And so I'm gonna save it and send it to everyone so that you can see the services that are available and see how, if there's anything that you can use or you can recommend to someone else. I have a question from Camille Jackson. She wants to know, how does one tie Shopify to a Jamaican dollar bank account?
Impossible. Impossible to tie Shopify to a Jamaican account. PayPal is the default payment processor for Shopify. You can set up other payment providers with Shopify, but in a sense, it is not supported locally as yet. That's one of the things that we are also looking at, how we can provide more integrations for these types of needs. But as it is right now, Shopify does not support that direct integration. However, again, as I said, that's one of the reasons why we offer that PayPal transfer service so that persons who are using Shopify and already collecting payments online using that PayPal service, then they can easily access their funds thereafter within 48 hours. But it's not possible at the moment.
All right, thank you very much, Leighton. And I just want to put in a plug of my own, because it's important that persons recognize that thingsjamaicanshopping.com is owned by the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, and we provide a whole range of authentic Jamaican products made right here in Jamaica. And you can visit our online source and just take a look, shop, send things for your people in foreign or right here in Jamaica. So that's thingsjamaicanshopping.com. When you get some time, go on. There's a beautiful website just built the other day, and we'll have some great models on there. I could tell you a secret about the models, but I'm going to hold that one inside. But please just take a look at our website and you will see all of what JBDC has to offer through our Things Jamaican platform.
Before we go ahead, there's one thing I want to drop in as well that I have not touched on.
Right.
There are a lot of Jamaican entrepreneurs who have gone the extra mile to register US-based businesses. Once you set up a US-based business, that gives you access to any solution offered to US-based customers, US companies, US residents, and so forth. And in a sense, what they've done, I know a number of tour companies, even ourselves, Mobile SEOs, have done that. And just through that type of infrastructure that we've been able to collect payments on our invoices and so forth using Stripe. But in a sense, once you get set up with a US business, and you can get a US bank account and receive the funds directly in there. After you receive the funds in your US bank account, you can employ the money transfer service called Zoom. You have seen it being advertised on TV with Usain Bolt. Zoom is a very good money transfer service because only charges you $5 to get access to your monies, So that's also another route that persons can use if you're not keen on the PayPal route. I have done it successful, and some of my clients have done it successful, and it's definitely something I can consider. So the person was asking about linking a Shopify with your local account. Yes, although that may be an issue, you can still get set up with a US bank account, so you can get access to the funds and control the costs that come with doing the online transaction. You know, so that's definitely and what I wanted to just drop in as a plug as well. You know? Yeah, go ahead, Sansa. Any other questions?
Thank you very much, Leighton. Somebody asked a question about which local companies provide business setup services. I need some clarity on that question, Toby Jones, before I can get an answer for you. There is a question from Nico Allen. Nico, I'm going to unmute your mic. Go ahead with your question, Nico.
Okay, hello everybody. So I just want
Morning.
to testify to what Leighton said. I have been using the Zoom feature for a while. I know persons who live all the way in Alaska that I communicate with Zoom. Zoom does offer a direct bank transfer as well as a cash pickup that they offer. And I've been, telling persons that, to cut costs, I am getting married soon. And somebody
Congrats, Nico.
thank you. Somebody was so kind enough to, sponsor a part of my wedding, and they send a huge amount to me. And I was worried that they would have been taxed a lot, but because of the amount, the fees were waived for them, and it went straight into my bank account. And I mean, that is a good way of doing business, so I can testify to it.
Yeah, man, thanks for sharing that. And also the key thing as well, guys, is bear in mind that once you can set up Zoom to connect with the US bank accounts, literally do everything online. You move the money online, you don't have to worry about anything. It's full visibility, full transparency, and you'd have heard directly from somebody who has successfully used that service. So these are some of the things that we think about, Sansia, when we're trying to help the customer. What are the resources out there that can be used, and this is why I say it is important for persons to work with the local providers in this pursuit, because only us can understand the nuances that you need to go around when it comes to moving the money. But the reality is that without collecting your money, the transaction is incomplete. You cannot sell the product, you cannot provide the service. Getting access to the money is a major barrier that persons need to get over, but there are ways once you understand the context within which you're operating and the resources that the business has and the resources that you can take advantage of.
All right, fabulous. Cash App, Leighton. A lot of persons asking about the utility of Cash App.
Unfortunately, I personally have not used it before, but just like every other payment provider out there, it is not integrated with your local bank. So you're still going to have the same issues collecting, getting access to the funds. So there are many, it's not just PayPal and Stripe, there are many wallet solution providers and so forth that you're able to receive payments, allow you to receive payments, but it is held in an account somewhere that doesn't give you ready access. And that is really where the challenge is when you're working with these international providers. And that is why, for instance, we recommend tools like Zoom and so forth, because these systems are highly integratable with these payment options. So when you're looking at payment processing or collecting payments from overseas payment processing providers, you have to think about how is it that I'm going to actually get the money out. I'm going to use a money transfer service, and I'm going to connect it to a bank. Do I have the resources to set up a bank account to connect these things? Or which money transfer service will work best for me? These are the things that generally persons who engage with wallet service providers like a PayPal, a Cash App, and a few more of them would have to think about when you're thinking about doing the business, getting access to the funds, And it's something to think about from the very onset, from thinking about e-commerce strategy, building out that approach. You have to think about how am I going to get access to my funds if it is that I provide PayPal, credit card payment as a payment method.
Wonderful. Nico, Chef Kathy wants you to know that if you need a chef for your wedding, she's available. Her information is in the chat, so please just link up with her. And then I noticed that Mr. Burchell James, the managing director of Running Man, is in the group as well, and he is doing personal protective equipment, which is critical right now. So if you need personal protective equipment, or maybe Mr. James, what you need to do is make contact with the Ministry of Health and see how you can integrate yourself into the system that already exists, so that you can tap into that source of business that is that for services, a product rather, that is needed so much right now. I see a question here from Daniel. Are there tax limitations when you set up US accounts to manage a Jamaican business?
All right, so that's a good question again. So when you're setting up a US bank account, I mean, there are different institutions that you can work with. I heard somebody ask earlier if there are institutions locally who help to get businesses set up. There are institutions overseas that empower Jamaican businesses to get set up overseas without leaving your home. There, one particular provider that we use is called My USA Corporation. My USA Corporation, you can Google them. My USA Corporation, able to actually get your business set up overseas. They will set you up in one of the tax-free states like Delaware or Wyoming. And with that setup, you would be tax exempt once you're doing business outside of the state, and also I think outside of the US. So for instance, with us, and they also provide, for instance, things like mail forwarding services, taxation services, and so forth. So I think we incur like a $90 cost per year for them to submit our taxes and sort us out and so forth. So it's very cheap, very convenient. There's also Stripe Atlas that they may want to check out. Again, Google that, Stripe Atlas. The Stripe Atlas, what Stripe does, because Stripe does not support Jamaican customers directly, or a lot of countries directly over the world. And in about 26 approved locations, what they've done is to empower persons who are outside of any one of those territories to sign up through them to get a business account, a Stripe account, and literally once you get that Stripe account, and also a bank account as well. So once persons want to go the method of setting up a business overseas in an effort to collect payments online, we definitely recommend Stripe, because that gives you a one-stop shop to do everything. And with that, again, I think they set up their persons in Delaware, and the same thing applies. You're not eligible for taxes if you're not doing business within the state itself. But there's a big but. Guys, I'm not an accountant nor a lawyer, so I recommend that you still liaise with your accountants and professionals. I know JBDC has a number of different departments: accounting, finance, legal. Liaise with them directly to see how your business fits and to ensure. Don't just take my word for it, because I'm not qualified to consult in that area. I'm just sharing my own experience, what has worked for me and also worked for other persons. All right.
Okay, last question from Suzanne Thomas. Suzanne, I'm going to unmute your mic and you go ahead with your question. Go ahead. Suzanne, can you?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Leighton. Excellent information, and everybody seems to be so educated on the chat. It's really awesome to be a part of this.
Awesome.
I was asking for your feedback on a government initiative that we really haven't had a lot of talk about. It's called COLAO. It's available through the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, the ones that we're affiliated with at JBDC. I'm wondering if you have any feedback on that particular website. Thank you.
So I was actually at the COLAO launch, and what COLAO was really empowering persons to do is to get a basic version of a website presence online. And in essence, what it provided was something like a Wix, not necessarily quite a Shopify, but more so a tool that enabled persons to be able to create a basic landing page. Also, I think one of their main value propositions was that once you're on the COLAO platform, then your search results would have been optimized to enable you to be found easily. However, one of the things that I think was lacking from it was the online ordering aspects of it. It seemed to have been focused mainly on website search and presence and just getting found, but not much on the e-commerce. I know they had some plans to set up PayPal payment options and so forth as part of the engagement, but I have not heard anything further on it since then. So to be honest, your guess is as good as mine, but I know that their initial value proposition was mainly to help companies to just get online, which is the first step, and then not necessarily e-commerce, but just really being found online, being able to put up your open hours, a description about your business, some pictures. To me, it competed directly with a Google My Business, just like when you set up a Google My Business and you can put on your reviews and so forth. Very similar, but just a little bit more of a web-like interface. So that was really the main thing I got from the engagement with them.
All right, great. Thank you, Leighton. This has been quite a session. We've had interactive sessions before. We've had exciting chats before, but I don't know if I've ever seen it like this. Again, I want to encourage everyone in this chat this morning to read through the group chat. The information in there is invaluable. And I will go ahead and save the chat and email to everyone so that you can access the information in terms of the networking information that is being provided right now. I see someone offering beauty and grooming services. Remember, you alluded to that in your presentation, Leighton. I saw the picture with the barber and stuff. Right now that is also a service that is needed. I took my son to the barber on Saturday and I had to turn back because the barber not there anymore and I never make a booking, so I don't have an appointment. Barber services. While hairdressing services were always kind of by appointment, barber services is now by appointment. So if there are any barbers on the chat this morning, anybody providing grooming services, it's a great time to even start with an email address. Even with an email address and a phone number, and then we can get into the technicalities. I want to remind everybody about the services that can be facilitated by Leighton and his team at Mobile Edge. Give them a call. They're innovators, they are creators, they service clients across all industries, not just in Jamaica, but in the region and in North America. He not only talk big, but he knows what he's doing. So if you need your e-commerce website services to be set up, contact Leighton. His information is available on our screen. Put back up your information, your contact information, Leighton, so that everyone can see it. And I'm encouraging you to post it in the group as well, because in the group chat as well, because I'm going to save this chat and send it to everyone that is on the chat this morning. I said last question for Susan, but I see Almando hand up one more time. I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask a question, Almando, or make your comment. So go ahead very quickly, please. Almando? Almando, you're gone? All right, so he doesn't look like he wants to ask the question again.
Let me just mention before you wrap up as well, Sansa, that guys, the 50% off gives you an extremely good value in terms of what you can get started. Pretty much, well, online ordering systems starting as low as $250 US. Things that would have normally cost 500 up to 1,000 US are being slashed in half. And literally, what it gives you is the ability to be able to start up with something like an online store, to list your product, get your orders in, automate your communication. That also comes with PayPal or Stripe integrations. So visit the website, as I say here, getmobileedge.com. We're offering free consultations all month, and we want to help as many businesses as possible. Key thing, guys, is that don't bite off more than you can chew. Most persons are in a rush trying to get a system up because they're losing money, they're not making money, they have mouths to be fed and so forth. So we have scaled down our systems to be able to offer this type of solution to you that allows you to get stuff in 72 hours. And you're looking at a minimal commitment that gives you everything you need. So feel free to book a consultation. We have seen customers come to us and take the systems and add a simple homepage. And voila, you have a website with an online ordering system. For many small businesses, they don't need more than that. You understand? We're building a lot of one-page websites now with ordering systems behind them, powering and support, and customers are finding real value from those types of systems. So we encourage you guys to book those free consultations. You have nothing to lose. and you'll learn a ton more of information. I mean, we'll provide a lot on this webinar, but you'll get more information that is specific to your business. You have to keep that in mind as well. Every business is different, so you want to know exactly what can work for you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Leighton. And for the persons asking about recordings, the presentation was recorded and it will be available on the JBDC YouTube page. All we ask that you do is subscribe to the page and you'll be able to access not just this, but all the presentations that we have done for the past 5 weeks, in addition to our In Concert series, as well as the Entrepreneur's Journey. We want to thank you so much, Leighton, for coming on this morning and sharing your knowledge with us. For persons who were asking how long the offer is available, I think you said it was for the rest of this month.
All right, come to the end of me.
All right, wonderful. The ebook, Leighton, I'm getting a lot of queries about it. So as soon as possible, send it to me and let me forward it out, forward it to everyone.
We're working on it because it's going to be developed from these points.
Right.
But we're hoping that by the end of this week, into the weekend, it should be complete, so you guys can look out for it by next week.
Fabulous. And as I said before, I am going to save the contents of this chat and share it with everyone because there is a lot of valuable information in there. I want to also let everybody know that JBDC is still open. We're open virtually. So if you need to contact us, info@jbdc.net. We're also very active on social media. So you can send us messages. We're very responsive, respond very quickly and get back to you and fix whatever issue you have as soon as possible. And then we also have 2 telephone numbers, 876-550-1167 or 876-414-3376. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, everyone. And we look forward to having you back next week, Tuesday. I'm not quite recalling what we're going to be talking about next Tuesday morning. But remember, we also have the In Concert series on Thursday. The information for that will be sent out very shortly. And then we have the Entrepreneur's Journey on Friday morning live on Facebook. So look out for us. We're doing lots of stuff because we want to ensure that our entrepreneurs are ready and raring to go right now, not after COVID, because there's no after COVID. As far as we've heard, COVID is here to possibly stay for another 2 years. So we have to learn to live with COVID. Ruth, the FD Live on Friday morning is at 10 a.m. sharp. So if you can join us there. Again, thank you so much, Leighton. Thank you for all the information that you have shared. And to everybody, have a fantastic rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys, and thanks for attending. Definitely appreciate it as well, and the energy,
Not a problem.
All right, guys, take it easy.